Hello, I'm John Sims,
And I'm Ryan Atkinson.
and we're partners with Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode, where we've been filing bankruptcies for over 20 years. A lot of times I'll get people ask me, am I going to lose stuff? And I'll get a little bit into exemptions with them. And exemptions are basically your right to keep things. They're often worried about the retirement, which are most of the time 100% exempt. They're worried about money they may have in the bank or a car that's paid for. The important thing is to give full disclosure to your attorney so we can help you figure out what is going to be a problem. Where it gets in a bind or they get in a bind is if we don't know about something. Can you explain a little bit what exemptions do for you?
The information that an individual has about their situation, the more they have, the more we can give valuable direction to our clients. Because if we don't know about a particular item, for example, you mentioned amounts of debts on things like cars, interest rates are important. But those things are important because when people come in to see us, they want to know, can they keep property? And so you mentioned exemptions. A common question that we get is, can I keep this car? Or what about my house? And the general answer is, it depends. And what I mean by that is, under the bankruptcy rules, you're allowed to protect equity and property. And for most people, and I would say the greater percentage of people, that's not going to be an issue. But when there is an issue, that is where we come into play, and we will present a plan that will allow you to do the things that are important to you, such as protecting a house, protecting a car. And so, again, it's planning from the attorney standpoint and also from the individual standpoint that's so important. And that's why we need to sit down, come up with a plan of organization, a plan of attack, and then we'll proceed from there.
What I've noticed or have questions a lot of time is somebody going to come to my house and look at my property. And in some districts they do. So they'll see that on the internet, which can arm them with information. But what you need to understand is each district is different. In the Eastern District of Kentucky, they do not come out and do an appraisal of your stuff. They rely on you to tell the truth. And we encourage you to tell the truth. We're going to sort through that with you. And we may say things like, what are your clothing worth? Sometimes people will say, well, it's worth $20,000. And I'll say, is that what you paid for it or what it's worth? And there's a big difference there. So people need to kind of understand that it's what you have now. Most exemptions are very generous. Sometimes, like you said, people don't have an exemption for something. If they don't, we try to work around that. And I don't mean work around it by not disclosing it. I mean work around it with the way we plan their bankruptcy.
A question we frequently get from our clients is, I have a car that's paid off. Can I keep it? And the answer is, under the bankruptcy rules, we are allowed to protect, or the term we use is exempt property up to certain dollar amounts. And so for most people, it is not going to be an issue, but it is a case-by-case scenario.
Yeah, Ryan, the exemptions are allowed under the bankruptcy code. And in Kentucky, we use the federal exemptions. They're very generous most of the time. Like your retirement is typically 100% exempt. Equity in a home can be up to $25,000 roughly for an individual or $50,000 for a couple. So there's things out there that we can do to protect that property. And the exemptions are good tools, and it's important that your attorney knows how to use them to your advantage. It's not a way to hide assets. It's a way to protect assets. So you need to understand that if you talk to an attorney about what you own, be sure that you have a general idea of what it's worth also.